is the body count report for Thursday, October the 26th, 2017. And sorry for the late upload. You know, this is always how it is playing catch up at the end of the week. But we've got a few stories for you. Reds kill Cotabato policeman in ambush. Now, by Reds, they mean the New People's Army, the communist militia that's been acting up in the Philippines recently. And Cotabato is an area that has an overlap of extremists. So I have another story about Cotabato coming up for Friday's body count report. Yeah, let's focus on the communists at the moment. We'll put a link in there to Philippines Duterte urging communist rebels to kill drug traffickers. And another link put in here is Duterte loves communists when he's not killing them. Love the title. I mean, just what? I'm just gonna stop there. Add the whatever you want. Kenya elections. That's where we're going next. Going to Africa. Going to East Africa to the Kenya elections. 10 killed as Ethiopia forces clash with protesters in Oromia. And Kenya's IEBC, which I'm guessing the E stands for elections and the C stands for commission, but I couldn't say for sure, postpones vote in 4 counties citing insecurity. So their struggle for legitimate democracy is directly affecting their current democracy. So, see if the world takes notice of what's going on there in Kenya. And Israel. There's a few things going on in Israel that I could have put in this link list, but I ignored the Iran stuff. I'll focus on the Iran stuff when it looks more like stuff. At the moment, it seems like a lot of posturing, and to be honest, I kind of felt bad for including an Iran story last week, or at the beginning of this week, that was just them posturing politically. And I felt bad for quoting it because, you know, I'm trying to only do life or death stories here, and I feel like at the moment that's not a life or death story. Iran in general is, sure, and that's how I tried to couch it, but I think I was still letting myself get celebrity obsessed by the bearded one over there, Ayatollah Khamenei. So we are looking at a BDS story, boycott, divest, and sanction rhetoric. Still, even though it is widely looked at as terrorist rhetoric and terrorist propaganda, and there's been some movements towards criminalizing, basically, or calling it out for what it is, which is anti-Semitic, anti-Israel rhetoric that's meant to dehumanize Jews in the eyes of the world, dehumanize Israel and the Israelis in the eyes of the world, to delegitimize their country and dehumanize them, to say it's okay to kill them, which is why terrorists have been quoting bind, divest, boycott, divest, and sanction rhetoric as they do their attacks. One of the most recent ones was in Barcelona, where a guy got in his car and tried to kill as many Jews as he could, and had just been posting propaganda coming straight from Palestinian Authority, Palestinian people, meant to declare war on Jews, meant to dehumanize us. So, even though places like here in the United States of America, where Larry Hogan, governor of Maryland, has stated that his state's not going to do business with any BDS companies, any companies that refuse to acknowledge Israel is a nation. He's not going to do business with them, which is cool. Thank you for that. But the United Nations doesn't see things the way we do and the way some other countries around the world do. Anti-Israel, dehumanizing BDS propaganda still has a stronghold in the UN, with 130 Israeli companies, 60 international corporations on UN blacklist. So, check out this article from ynetnews.com. Just read the slug line here. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Al-Hussein warns Israeli firms of their inclusion in blacklist of companies operating in West Bank, East Jordan Valley. List includes prominent companies such as Bezek, Hot, Ahava, Cellcom, Bank Hapoalim, and others. Bezek CEO scorns entirely anti-Israeli propaganda. There it is. And this is why I ignored the Iran story, where Israel squaring off with Iran, saying that they'll strike militarily if they have to. I don't see that happening. I see the validating of this rhetoric as the life or death situation. Because that, and it's really hard to invalidate rhetoric like this. You ever tried to talk to a conspiracy person? Everything you say, they'll dismiss it for some reason. So when people are possessed by that kind of rhetoric, when they're brainwashed with that kind of rhetoric, that these Jews aren't human, they're not allowed to be doing what they're doing, everything they do is illegal, then people are stuck that way. That's why that's the life or death situation. And that's also why I'm saluting Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland here in the US of A. That dude, it's a tough dude, man. Stood up to cancer, now he's standing up to this BS. So I hope more people follow his footsteps. And with that, I will end the body count report. Want to say that I'm going to try to get the technical difficulties sussed out so we can have a regular show again. I mean, I know you probably like looking at my pretty face and my style, anti-social news style. But we need to get back to where you can see the news stories. But now this is good too, because this lets you know these are there, and then do what I said, and just click on the link list in the description, And now you can go look at those stories. Maybe this is better. Maybe this should be how we'll do it from now on. Huh? What do you think of that? We do this from now on. So you don't get lazy. You really got to go read those stories. Do it. Educate yourself. Alright. Like, comment, subscribe. Dislike. Comment some crap at me. Share me to make fun of me to your friends. Whatever you got to do. I need to get out there. And come on. By now you know me.